and it's a real honour to be here. Yes, I have been on the receiving end of many kinds of media attacks, but I wear them as a badge of honour because it means I'm on the right side. This panel is talking about the media war on Labour. When we know that the majority of the media in the UK, as it is right now, is in the hands of literally a handful of billionaires, whether it's the Sun that people are reading all the time, it's the same people who own them, of course they're going to carry out a war against Labour, because the Labour Party is standing for truth, justice, and the many and the few now know it's not just about them. And that's heartening. That's positive. I would be worried if the Daily Mail started to champion me. Talking of the Daily Mail, as I was coming to Brighton, I got a call. I'm merely on a long list. That's still a long way away from being the actual Labour candidate. There's a lot of work to do and people are going to vote within the party. But already I'm getting the calls. Being accused of being a misogynist. Being accused of being an extremist. But that doesn't surprise me, and you know what? I thought the Midlands doesn't get this kind of attention at the best of times. So it shows they're worried. And I take it as a huge compliment. And when you talk about the media, of course social media is a huge thing at the moment. And because so many young people are flocking to the Jeremy Corbyn-led Labour Party, they haven't to pay people in the factories and the bot factories. But we've got the real deal. We've got people who've known the pain of the Tory government, who understand what the line is. The line isn't between black, white, people of faith, not of faith. It's between the oppressed and the oppressor. And I'm so proud that I belong to a party where that line is absolutely clear. They hate Jeremy Corbyn, not because of how he dresses, or his age, or what he does on the allotment. They hate him because he has made that line clear. If you are pro-war and hurting innocent people, whether in the name of a state or some rogue group, you're the enemy, or we will not stand with you. If you are poor, if you are vulnerable, if you are having injustice inflicted upon you, we are on your side, regardless of your background or creed or race. And that means something to me. I became politicised after 9/11. I know what it's like to be demonised, to be misrepresented, to be distorted. And whilst it was so hurtful all those years ago, and I couldn't understand how can people be so brazen, be so crude, be so cruel, to literally use the most extreme, foul, derogatory language, rhetoric, concepts against people who've got nothing to do with those issues. But having been through that, and having seen who was there, and Jeremy Corbyn was just a backbencher then, but he was one of the founding members of Stop the War Coalition, and he inspired me alongside the thousands of ordinary people up and down this country who refused to answer the question, are you with us or against us, when Bush and Blair were, that was their line. And many of us said, no, it's not you or that. We're with people who are oppressed. We don't want to bomb foreign countries abroad. And actually, we don't want privatisation at home either, because funnily enough, it's the same people who back both. And so this is about politics. They personalise it, they do character assassinations, but it's because finally the mud is being cleared and the politics is becoming very apparent. And so they will do everything they can to distract. I call it the weapons of mass destruction. But the good news is, just as with the anti-war movement, and again having been through that painful and long journey, when we used to meet in cold town halls with a handful of people, when the media wasn't reporting on the thousands of people who were marching again and again, when question time wasn't reflecting the balance of opinion in the country, we didn't have slick media professionals, we didn't have the mainstream on our side, but it was just ordinary people who actually cut through, banded together, and we ended up with the largest demonstration, not just in British history, but in human history, because it went all around the world as well. That's people power, because it's true. They have money, but we have people. And it's true now as it was true then. And the difference, though, is that we now have a leader of the opposition just a little stretch away from being the leader of our country and being the Prime Minister of this country, where the levers of power are there to ensure that those policies which are right, which resonate with so many people, which so many people, not just here but around the world, are desperate for. It's not some political personality game for them, or for people like me. It really is the first opportunity, not just in one generation, I'll say 2 or 3 generations that we have. So we have got a fight of a lifetime on our hands. But by God, am I ready for it? And I know there are thousands and thousands of people up and down this country who are ready for it. And social media, door to door, having those personal conversations. Once you unsee, they cannot make you see their way again. They can't spill it away after that. And that's why they are scared. That's why they are scared. They're scared of us. They're scared of us. And the resilience of Jeremy Corbyn, I'm a psychotherapist by background, and honestly, I'm absolutely amazed. When anybody says weak in relation to Jeremy, I don't know a single other person who could withstand the constant onslaught. And it's a testimony to his sincerity, to his inner belief that in his genuineness, that he has not just withstood it, but withstood it with calm and grace. Because we do need leadership, not just in the party. And the stance on Brexit, forget the spin. Having that referendum is absolutely vital. Because whether you voted leave or not, or remain, we can't ignore half the country. That's not playing populist politics. That's playing sincere politics. And we do have that opportunity to finally, not just be a voice, but to implement policies which will really be there for the many and not just the few. So I say this is a time for optimism, a time for energy, a time for feeling powerful, because we actually are. Thank you.